And there goes the next one in. Yeah, today we were here at Elk Lake and we completed a lot of tasks, or at least partially completed them, and I was finally able to catch the butterfly peacock bass. That was obviously very important. And bam, there goes the next one straight in as well. So finally in the right size. That was important because in the tournament, or rather in the live stream, it went in a bit too small for me. And now I had it in exactly the right size. We will take a quick look into the net in a moment. What is going in there now, and how everything is currently being caught here, or how to catch this butterfly peacock bass. And after that, we head to Kuori, and there we will take a look at how to catch the Kuori Whitefish. Yeah, evening hours and morning hours are super interesting. Right now here at Elk Lake, during the night there is actually not that much going on, and especially in this evening phase where it gets dark earlier here at Elk Lake, so around 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. until 11 p.m. That is another really hot phase. This is what it looks like right now in the net. I am standing here at the 4.5 meter hole, and I was just able to finish the butterfly peacock bass with 1.5 kilograms. Super important fish. Right now, the only thing I'm really missing here is the largemouth bass in the right size. The white bass also went in here, completely without problems. And especially on this lure that I'm using right now, it works really well. So an excellent frequency at the moment on this craw 3.5. I will push through here one more time, and then we will take another look into the net, and then we will move straight on to Kuori. And there, I will immediately look for the Kuori Whitefish. Of course, you also still need that one for the task, so we will take a look in a moment if we can outsmart it as well. I am standing right now here at the 4.5 in this zone here, and from here we can cast over here and cast over here to the left and to the right, so basically in both directions. That works quite well right now. I actually have not tried this lure up here at all yet, because I immediately caught the first butterfly peacock bass with 1.2 kilograms, and just now it went in again with over 1.5 kilograms. And with that, the task was completed. This is what the setup looks like right now. So I'm currently running 9 kilograms fluorocarbon only. On your setup, you can of course simply use a braided line as the main line, or a monofilament line as the main line, and then add a leader with a strength of around 9 kilograms, so not even that thick. And then I'm using a 3-0 hook. We want to catch relatively large fish here for this task, so we also take a fairly large hook. I have also already thought about later using a 4-0 hook directly for the largemouth bass to go even heavier. Yeah, and the absolute killer right now is definitely the Perfect Craw 3.5-004. That is currently the lure that delivers the best variety of fish here, including lots of white bass, but also black bass. And of course, as mentioned, the butterfly peacock bass and the largemouth bass also goes in here. Earlier, there were even a lot more black bass, but they were more in this area here. Yeah, and with this lure, I will definitely continue testing over the next days in different areas at different times to be able to complete the remaining fish here. Now, however, we are heading off to Kuori, because here we still need a task, or rather a fish for a task, namely the Kuori Whitefish. We quickly sell these here again, 170 silver. That is fine as well. Almost 1 hour sold at that spot now, and Brandy even caught the Kuori Whitefish as a trophy here. And we are simply going to copy that now. So coordinates 120, 114, we will take a direct look at that. And that thing, 120, 114, on this headland here, that is completely new to me. I know 3 spots that have always worked well otherwise. So here, roughly at 90, 100, casting in this direction, then also casting out loosely in this area, and down here in this area as well. But this spot here is completely new to me, and of course I'm very happy to test it. That's really nice. So if the Kuori Whitefish also goes in there in that area, then I'm very, very, very curious how that works here. It would of course be excellent if we had a new spot here that also works well. Yeah, for float fishing, I always like to set up a rod pod, simply to be able to place the rods more easily, especially at such a spot. Otherwise, you may have to step a bit further back and spread out a little so that all rods have enough space. So now we first assemble the setup, simply with the float rod, using 5.5 kilograms fluorocarbon. I am taking a size 4 hook now, so a bit thicker. Size 4 hook, size 6 hook, something like that. That should work quite well. And depth set to 1.8 meters. As a float angler, you always have to bring in some variation, but I think between 1.5 meters and 1.8 meters is not bad at all. We start here with 1.8 meters depth. I also do not really know exactly how or where to cast or how far to cast. We will just take a look at the scene here. I would say roughly in this area here, maybe along a drop-off area. That looks quite interesting because very often we have especially many spots or good spots along such water edges. So that means we cast out roughly between 15 and 20 meters. Let's see, yeah, that could be about right. 1.8 meters depth. Oh, I need to loosen the drag because I'm only running 5.5 kilograms here. That may have been a bit too far. We pull that back a bit. So bail open again, let everything sink down nicely, speed set to maximum so that we can strike properly here. Yeah, and I also need to adjust the drag a bit in a moment so I know how high I can set it. And the third setup also loosely cast out, that fits. And now of course it's time to wait and see if something works here. And there was something on, but too late. And there is something on again. Yeah, and that hooked, and I think I can raise the drag a bit more, but I will leave it for now. We have dwarf whitefish here. That is something already. Dwarf whitefish often works quite well on mayfly larvae, and that means we now have to experiment a bit. My first trophy back then was on double stonefly larvae, so we have to see which bait works best. What can of course happen all the time here, especially when the dwarf whitefish is at the spot, is that you get a lot of missed bites. That can happen constantly because the dwarf whitefish, as a very, very small fish, sometimes only weighs around 100 grams and wants to bite your bait, and of course does not hook properly on a size 4 hook. So missed bites are absolutely possible in this area. Zip, there we had one again. And zip, I love this zip, but that is only until the drag is properly set. We need to test that a bit now until I have the drag set to the maximum. And that one hooked. Very nice. The first fish just now did not hook again. Now I actually need to see how high I can set the drag here. I hope something goes in soon that actually has some weight, because right now this is not ideal yet. Oh, yeah, look at that. That is good. That is good. Right here in the close range. And I think I can raise the drag. Oh, it is actually a whitefish. Look at that. These runs are driving me absolutely crazy. Oh my God, insane. Yeah, well that means we already got that done. So simple can be simple. Yeah, very nice. Task completed, and we even got the new Christmas lamp as well. Very nice. So, stage completed, or rather task fulfilled. Level 9, Task 1. Catch an Austrok whitefish or a Kuori whitefish with a weight of at least 1 kilogram. That went very, very fast. And now we will actually take another look because that was right here in front. So not cast far at all, but actually in the close range. And we will take a direct look at that now because this whitefish, this fish itself, is definitely worth targeting. If we can catch it here, well then we do not need to cast far at all. And we are happy to catch it right here in front because the fish is worth it, also in terms of silver. And if you have the chance here that the whitefish goes in, then we gladly take that. Kuori whitefish. Madness. That was fast. And I already thought I would have to visit all the other spots later where you can catch it, but I do not need to. If you still want to see them, just check the playlist for Kuori. There are already several videos about the Kuori Whitefish and of course the different spots, how and where you can catch them. And this is a new spot for me, so it worked. Still, I will continue testing it a bit more now, because I want to know how many fish go in here. Is it worth it in the long run? Can you maybe fish for Kuori Whitefish here regularly? That is all important for such a spot. Big thanks also to Brandy for sharing the spot. That is excellent. If you want to see what else works, also just check the Discord. The link to the Discord is directly below the video, and many players share their experience there with the community, what works where and how. Not only for the Christmas tasks, of course, but also for all other spots. Yeah, that is it for these 2 tasks. So off to Elk Lake, off to Kuori, and then tight lines. Good luck and hang in there with these fish. And also, very important, do not get fixated on one fish. Do not stand there for hours trying to catch that one fish. Instead, try to fish for that fish once a day, especially if it is rare. Ideally, try it under different weather conditions, and if it does not work within that 1 hour, then just try again the next day, and do not let it ruin your fun. Fishing for hours for a fish that simply does not want to bite is no fun. So instead, make sure you do something else in that time that is fun, or complete other tasks, and then just go back the next day to fish for such a rare fish again. Especially with this rare bass, or also this whitefish, these are simply rare fish, and you just need a good portion of luck as well. That is it. If it helped you, leave a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. That helps me a lot. And then I will see you in the next video. Until then, tight lines.